political activist. We had a comedian on stage talk about politics. Can I please have you all put your hands together for Rajiv Pratap Rudy. Rajiv sir is an alumnus of Panjab University. He was the General Secretary of your Students' Union at one point in time. He's a veteran politician who has served as an MP from Bihar. So please, after all the conversations we've had about politics, here we are with our Associate Editor, Mr. Clean Safety, in conversation with Rajiv Pratap.
I'm sorry for calling you Rajiv because he looks young enough not to be called sir or anything. Do you agree?
Yes.
It will take two people to introduce him, but I'll try to do it myself. This man is the president of Government College Secretary.
मैं इस नाम को अपनी कर लेता हूँ आसानी से। Well, जिस स्टेज पर मैं खड़ा हूँ, आज से 35 साल पहले मैंने यहाँ पर एक्टिंग की और उसमें मधु हमारे बहुत सारे मित्र हैं और मधु हमारे साथ बैचमेट थी और शायद इसलिए मैं यहाँ आया हूँ। शेखर गुप्ता ने मुझे इनवाइट किया है रेसिपी और इस आज के इस कार्यक्रम में मैं आप सब लोगों से मेरा डिपार्टमेंट बदलता है लॉ डिपार्टमेंट और स्टेज पर जो मैंने लास्ट एक्टिंग किया था दैट वाज पायल शिवरम 35 years ago and she is one of the most leading lawyers somewhere in Punjab and not aware. Well, मैं जहाँ भी हूँ आज is all because of some people like you who were there in my life 35 years ago. Because I was coming from मध्यमा, तो मध्यमा में 27 सेक्टर में एक हरियाणा का पंचायत भवन और जब मैं सबसे पहले पटना से निकल के यहाँ आया और क्योंकि +2 हमारे स्कूल में नहीं था तो यहाँ हमारे एक और मित्र बैठे हैं तो बस स्टैंड पर पहुंचने के बाद रात को रुकने का कहीं जगह नहीं था तो 3 रुपये में पंचायत भवन में मैं 4 दिन रहा और उसके बाद सबसे पहले पहला साल हमने एडमिशन गेवी कॉलेज में लिया और उसके बाद गवर्नमेंट कॉलेज चंडीगढ़ में आया एंड पॉसिबली आई वाज द फर्स्ट आउटसाइडर एवर इन द हिस्ट्री ऑफ चंडीगढ़ टू बिकम द प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ गवर्नमेंट कॉलेज चंडीगढ़ फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम. After completing my graduation in economics, I did reasonably well. I topped the university in economics then. And then I came to Panjab University and I was the first outsider in the history of Panjab University to be elected as the General Secretary of Panjab University. बहुत सारी कहानियां हैं इस दौरान, लेकिन मेरी शादी पंजाब में शिलांग में नहीं थी. I didn't get married, but I had a lot of stories then. I was too young to carry on my affairs then. Nonetheless, I went back to Bihar, became an MLA at the stage of 26, and this is my 30 years in politics now. वैसे पॉलिटिक्स में जिस विषय पर एंड द प्रिंट डेमोक्रेसी वॉर फ्री स्पीच कैंपस इनिशिएटिव इज समथिंग आई कुड बी द राइट रेसिपी फॉर एक्सप्लेनिंग व्हाट इज पॉलिटिक्स इन दिस कंट्री क्योंकि यहाँ से लौटने के बाद जो मेरा 30 साल का राजनीतिक जीवन है आप सब लोगों को लगता हो कि मैं अंग्रेजी बोल रहा हूँ और मैं बिल्कुल बिहार का ग्राउंडेड पॉलिटिशियन और 30 साल से और 26 साल की उम्र में मैं विधायक हूं और किनसे मैं चुनाव लड़ता रहा हूं आई डू नॉट इवन नो इन बिकॉज चंडीगढ़ इज क्वाइट फार ऑफ द हॉटबेड ऑफ पॉलिटिक्स इन बिहार इज वन पर्टिकुलर. आप सब लोग को क्योंकि मैं यहां से हूं लेकिन मुझे नहीं जानते होंगे लेकिन जिसको मैं वर्षों से लड़ता रहा हूं और हराता रहा हूं वो सब आप लोग जानते हैं जी. दिस इज अ क्वेश्चन आई गेस व्हिच वुड बी द मोस्ट डिफिकल्ट लीडरशिप in आपको
लालू प्रसाद
आपको देता है आपको. Can anyone guess where what kind of politics I have been indulging in for last 30 years? Yes. So that is an easy way to explain अपनी identity मुझे वहां से शुरू करनी पड़ती है. So I have to put my identity 30 years I survived in politics. और जिस इलाके में मैं पॉलिटिक्स करता था वहां पर देश के अगर टॉप मोस्ट लोग जिनकी ख्याति नेगेटिव हो सकती है starting from Sivan, which was Shahbudi, Honorable Shri Lalu Prasad Yadav, Raghunath Singh, मैं वहाँ survive कर चुका 30 से. And I think a lot of grooming which has gone into my political standing, और जो कुछ भी मैंने सीखा राजनीति की शुरुआत में, that came all from Panjab University, Chandigarh. I was sitting in hostel 3. I stayed in. Today Shekhar gave me a call and said, which was your hostel? तो पंजाब यूनिवर्सिटी में जो लॉ डिपार्टमेंट में आते थे उनका हॉस्टल नंबर 5 था, 4 लेकिन हमने तब से ही एक स्ट्रैटेजी वर्कआउट कर दिया था. मेरा ये डिपार्टमेंट था और केमिकल इंजीनियरिंग वाले लोग हॉस्टल 3 में थे. मैंने वहां पर अपना सीट किया ताकि वो वोट और ये वोट मिला करके चुनाव कमरे में जाऊंगा. और अपने इसके पहले जब मैं गवर्नमेंट कॉलेज में था सेक्रेटरी में, तो मैंने कभी भी फर्स्ट फ्लोर और सेकंड फ्लोर पर कमरे नहीं लिए, क्योंकि जब संकट उत्पन्न होता था राजनीति में तो बाहर से ताला लगा के सोता था, क्योंकि रात को अगर आक्रमण की स्थिति हो तो पिछले दरवाजे से भाग सकते. एंड दिस हैज बीन माय हिस्ट्री ऑल थ्रू इन पंजाब यूनिवर्सिटी. आई ऑलवेज क्लोज द ग्राउंड फ्लोर एंड आल्सो ऑलवेज हैड अ रेयर डोर, बिकॉज़ कई बार दोस्तों की प्रथा मिट जाती. It's all about politics. What we're going to talk today. I'm going to keep the platform open. मेरे जीवन का एक और बहुत बड़ा इशू है जो देश के और दुनिया के राजनीति में किसी ने उसकी अनियमितता हो गई. और जब मैं यहाँ गवर्नमेंट कॉलेज में था तो वहाँ मैं एनसीसी में था. I was selected as one of the cadets for the 26th January program. But I couldn't join. My second man was, who is a major general in the army now, Dipinder. He went. उस समय वहाँ मैं एनसीसी में जब सेलेक्ट हुआ तो मुझे पावर फ्लाइंग की अनुमति एनसीसी से मिली. तो मैं चंडीगढ़ के बस स्टैंड पर अपनी साइकिल लगाता था, वहां से बस करके पटियाला जाता था. पटियाला के लोकल बस स्टेशन पर वहां से उतर करके फ्लाइंग क्लब जाता था और मैं वहां फ्लाइंग करता था. कुछ 3-4 घंटे की फ्लाइंग के बाद वहां एक क्रैश हो गया. चीता हेलीकॉप्टर और फ्लाइंग क्लब का जहाज एक दूसरे से टकराने के कारण फ्लाइंग बंद हो गई. 6 लोग मर गए. मेरी फ्लाइंग क्लब बंद हो. उसके बाद मैं बिहार में गया, एमबीए बन गया और मैं वहां फ्लाइंग शुरू करना चाहता था. तो फ्लाइंग मेरी शुरू नहीं हुई क्योंकि उस समय लालू प्रसाद जी सब मुख्यमंत्री थे और उन्होंने मुझे एडमिशन नहीं दिया. कहा कि कहाँ जहाज लगाइएगा, छोड़िए इस पहले 5 साल बीत गए. 1996 I came to Parliament. I could not do my flying then. 98 I lost. 99 I came to Government of India again. 2000 I became the civil aviation minister of this country, but I could not start my flying. 2004 I relinquished charge as the central government of Mr. Rajpal. 2007 the same flying club in Patna. I went and started my flying. 2008 I got at the age of 44. I got my commercial pilot license. At the age of 47, I became the first parliamentarian on the globe to become a captain of A320, and I'm still a captain in New Airlines. And this is passion. I had a passion to become a captain, and it took me good 25 years. And today I wear a uniform and fly the aircraft, which possibly is the only parliamentarian or minister on the globe where I am. मैं यहाँ पर पॉजिटिव पॉलिटिक्स किया है और सब जिंदगी के जितने बात हैं. And why it is important? Because Shekhar was then, the real man was contemporary then, और इतने बड़े राजनीतिक जीवन में मेरा एक ही क्वेश्चन है सबसे ज्यादा. पॉलिटिक्स में कोई स्टैंडर्ड प्रोसीजर नहीं होता कि कैसे आप एमएलए बनेंगे, एमपी बनेंगे, मिनिस्टर बनेंगे. एवरीवन हैज टू क्रिएट हिज ओन स्लॉट, हिज ओन वे. बट इस देश में सबसे बड़ी जरूरत है, लोग कहते हैं कि मेरा बेटा कलेक्टर बनेगा, एसपी बनेगा, डॉक्टर बनेगा, प्रोफेसर बनेगा, इंजीनियर बनेगा. कोई ये नहीं कहता है कि मेरा बेटा या मेरी बेटी एमएलए बनेगी या नहीं. जिस दिन इस देश के राजनीति में आप सब लोगों के बीच में से कोई तय करके कहेगा कि मैं एमएलए बनूंगा, मैं एमएलए बनूंगी, मैं एमपी बनूंगी, मैं समझता हूँ कि देश में बहुत सारी जो कमियां आज जिसकी चर्चा हम करते हैं वो दूर हो सकेगा और मेरे आने का आलोचना. It's a brief introduction, but very please.
I think we show the house open to questions. If you immediately can think of any. Yes, sir. If we have first question, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, introduce yourself and the mic. Hi sir, I am Amit. I work with the government secretary. You've spoken very lovingly about the relationship with the Panjab University. But does the present state of this university worry you very bit? The university finds it very difficult to give service to its teachers, lapping charges, students, and so many things happening which are not desirable in this university right now. Do you have any plan, being a student, being a...
No, I would be very honest. I am aware of the problems of this university. People have come and met me. When I walked in today, I didn't feel it was the same university which I was. And the very ambience tells that things do not look very correct. They do not look very correct. I will not get into the details. But I'm sure if I compare it to some of the universities across the country, on a scale of 10, it would be 8 if I have to compare it with universities across the country. You do not know where you stand, but in comparison to yourself, what you were and what you should be, that would be you. So as compared to the national other universities, you are very, very good. But if you compare yourself to yourself, what you should have been, I think there is a good.
I want to ask you, you were probably the last person to be elected because elections were banned in Panjab University and in West Punjab in 1984. So I believe you were the last people to have been elected through voting. Recently, the Punjab government has decided to lift that 20-year-old ban. So what do you think Punjab student politics? Is it really, of course you are a living example, but you really think that student politics does give rise to good politics?
मैंने देखिए देश की राजनीति में पॉलिटिक्स बड़ा अच्छा सवाल है. देश में how do people come in politics? And that is a big question. How? And I was thinking about it and I categorized it in about 7 or 8 categories. एक तो वो लोग थे जो देश के राजनीति में आए जो स्वतंत्रता संग्राम से देश आजाद हुआ. They were part of the Constituent Assembly. From there they came and they become leaders, post-independence. एक है जो पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज में होते हैं, कोई लेफ्ट हो, कोई राइट हो, कोई बीजेपी हो, कोई आरजेडी हो. That is one category. There were people who came in politics who were from student movements. Like when you see about these people of the socialist background, they came from the student, Sharad Yadav, whether it's Arun Jaitley, whether it's Rajiv Prashad. So many people came back from student background. एक इसमें स्टूडेंट पॉलिटिक्स है. हमारे जैसे लोग हार्डकोर स्टूडेंट. मैंने अपनी पार्टी बनाई थी गवर्नमेंट कॉलेज में बिहार का स्टूडेंट्स फ्रंट करके बनाया था. यहाँ पर आके कोई और फ्रंट हमने बनाया. Some come from ABUP, some come from AISL and so forth. Those are people who also have कुछ लोग हैं जो सेलिब्रिटी होते हैं पॉलिटिक्स में आए. And they could be actors and actresses or cricketers, they come in politics and they're strong in politics. कुछ लोग ऐसे हैं जो जिनका इस देश की राजनीति में परिवार से बहुत लोग राजनीति में आते हैं. And it's a reality. Many people come in politics to have a family. एक ऐसे लोग होते हैं जो कहीं नहीं होते हैं, वो राजनीति में आते हैं. उनका भी कैटेगरी इस देश में, उसकी चर्चा मैं नहीं करना चाहता. इसके बाद भी इस देश के राजनीति में स्पेस बहुत बड़ा बचा है. After all this, when you exhaust it, still there is a huge space left for people who have to come in politics. और वही सबसे खतरनाक कैटेगरी है जिसको लगता है कि मैं राजनीति में आऊंगा, मैं एमएलए बन जाऊंगा, मैं एमपी बन जाऊंगा, फिर मेरा ये बिजनेस चलेगा, फिर मेरा ये प्रोटेक्शन मिलेगा, मुझे लाल बत्ती मिलेगा. मुझे वो कैटेगरी के लोगों की संख्या धीरे धीरे, क्योंकि लोगों की रुचि, आप जैसे लोगों की रुचि इस देश में कम हो गई, ऐसे लोगों की संख्या आस्ते बढ़ती है. और वो सबसे बड़ी चुनौती. और उस संख्या को कम करने की जिम्मेदारी आज आप लोग जैसे लोगों पर है, जो पहले दिन ये तय करें कि हमें इस दुनिया में प्रवेश करना. और इसी कारण ब्लैक पॉलिटिक्स से 1984 के बाद आप देखना है चुनाव की पॉलिटिक्स हुई. इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. स्टूडेंट पॉलिटिक्स में मुझे याद है मिस्टर GS औजला was the SSP of Chandigarh when I was the president of government college. He was a lecturer in government college. He became Bihar cadre IPS officer. Subsequently, his cadre got changed to Panjab. Now he is retired. I remember कि मैंने यहाँ पर खूब पत्थर तब चलवाए थे. बट वो पार्ट ऑफ इट था। और फिर मैंने हमने बसों को यहाँ पर सड़कों पर रोक के भी किया। दैट वाज अ पार्ट, मे नॉट बी राइट देन, मुझे समझ में नहीं आया, रेट्रोस्पेक्टिवली लुकिंग इट वाज रॉन्ग, लेकिन दैट इज अ पार्ट, बट वी नेवर वेंट इनटू क्राइम और क्रिमिनलिटी। मुझे याद है कि लास्ट 1984 में जब चुनाव लड़ा था, दैट वाज द बिगिनिंग ऑफ टेररिज्म, एंड आफ्टर दैट नो इलेक्शंस वर हेल्ड। There was a firing in this about 100 feet from here. Paras Diwan Saab was the chairman of the faculty, and he died later in someone intruded his house and killed him. There was a firing here, and my colleague who was my predecessor, Mr. General Nighania, he was shot. So from there, it happens. But nonetheless, we were not involved in it. It was a situational thing. But we always used to carry the university. And unfortunately, that was also very popular with the girls, so I got the maximum votes. I was a gentleman. I still have this. So, kind of. But this happens.
You still get the maximum number of votes.
I'm disappointed by the numbers who are present here. They would have missed something which I thought, because this campus would have had great relevance to what I am talking, and they would have connected this.
We have a question here.
Good afternoon, sir. I am Michael from University Institute of Legal Studies. So my question to you, with all due respect, is that I as a law student feel that there is a wave of anti-intellectualism all over the country. Structurally, our universities are being broken down. Starting from Jawaharlal University to Hyderabad University, to even our own university, Panjab University, where we had so many because of IITs. And recently I read a newspaper clipping that the fee hike in IIMs is of 23 lakh. So it's a government-run institution with a fee of 23 lakh. So sir, neither am I and neither do I have any antipathy against the Bharatiya Janata Party, neither do the people who qualified, sir. So my question, I'll just conclude, is that why isn't the Bharatiya Janata Party catering to the students, to the ideal youth which believes in education and employment? That's it. It do not require some luxuries. Just education and employment. Why are they getting more and more expensive?
This is a big question which is being addressed. And we have free education to the secondary level, and you see the situation what is there. It's a big debate. And I think in the world, the cheapest education which is offered in the world is in India. And if you try to move out, the amount of money which you have to give to have a similar kind of education is unthinkable. And most of the people in those countries do not go beyond secondary. They choose a profession, they move out. Here everyone wants to go to the postgraduate level. So the systems are flawed. And we need to do it. Everyone need not become a postgraduate or a doctor. Here everyone is, as long as not getting employed, is moving to that profession, irrespective of whatever is out there. This is systematic flaws. So I will not be the right person to comment it, because I am not an educationist, and I understand those problems, but I will not be able to give a outright solution.
Aspirations of the youth. Are we making a lot of educated, unemployable youth in this country? That's of course one thing of education, but to make it skill development. These kids have aspirations. You have lived a life where you have chased your dreams, you've done what you wanted. I think that's exactly what they want.
That was a lot of hard work.
Yes, that's a lot of hard work. What do you suggest? How are the aspirations of this youth? And I'm sure that majority of the children.
Well, suppose the lady who was performing here was Sophia. You see, this is a small auditorium. There is 3 people are sitting here who are regulating this music system. There is a gentleman here who is taking a photograph. There is someone who is on their lights. Someone who fixed up this ABC, someone who fixed up the posters. All these things, what makes your life beautiful and what contributes to your standing today is all skill. He doesn't have a certificate. All of them do not have a certificate. They do not have a formal training. Because what was aspirational in this country was getting that degree. The whole system is flawed. We believe in education rather than in skills, because this is how this country is grown. It would require a long process. I don't think 80% of the children need to go beyond 10th and 12th. They should decide their profession and move on. I can tell you, yesterday I was in a drill, which is a fire drill for the airlines. We have to do that particular syllabus after 2 years. And yesterday when we were doing a demo in Gurugram, where there is a training center, the young girls who are 18, 20, 21, who come for the training, who get recruited. Out of 30 girls who were training there, I checked out, the girls were from Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata, one was from Dehradun, one was from Patna, and 3 or 4 from Darjeeling, one was from Arunachal. All at the age of 19, plus 2, have started their career with a minimum salary of 25,000, and in the same airlines, they would be getting about 70,000 to 80,000 in the next 8 years. The girl, Nagma, who was my instructor there, was doing the fire drill and the pitching drill. She's a young girl of 22 years. Her formal qualification is just 12, and she's getting 1.5 lakh rupees because she's a professional trainer. We are not trying to work it out. We are just concentrating, building a classroom, putting people in the classroom, have a teacher, take the exams, which happens local in the world. You have to build up the skills right from class 8, 9, 10, let them decide, and you have a huge potential outside, which we have not done.
Any questions?
Sir, I'm also a student of economics. I read a rather funny dialogue I wrote the other day which said that,
Keep it closer.
That if at the age of 20 you're not a Marxist, you're a fool. So,
I couldn't hear it.
if at the age of 20 you're not a Marxist, you're a fool. Sir, we at the age of 20, 21, all of us are in that age group. We're all thinking about society and welfare and our own India. And in this day, today, if I switch on the news, there's a very bad image
Keep it closer.
by the social media,
Hear
etc.
your own voice.
Yes, by the social media, etc. about all the right-wing extremism and everything happened there. And it's really difficult to identify what BJP really stood for, what is the philosophy of BJP and the RSS, and what it actually stands for. Could you please
I
explain?
didn't want to come to this space. I would have avoided it completely. What is BJP's philosophy? What is not? There are 2 simple things. There are 2 figures whom we talk about, and 2 simple things what we talk about is the reality. One is, when India became independent, there was a gentleman called Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee. He was from West Bengal, a lawyer. He had nothing to do with Jammu Kashmir, nothing at all. As a president of the Jalsang then, he goes to Srinagar, and that was the time in Jammu and Kashmir. India had to take a visa to enter Jammu and Kashmir post-independence. He said, I am not going to take any permit to enter Jammu and Kashmir. And he said there will be no do nishan, do vidhan or do pradhan nahi rahenge. That means India will not have 2 flags, India will not have 2 constitution, and India will not have 2 prime ministers. This was he said in post-independence in 1947. He was arrested, he died in the jail. And that is where the BJP says it's nationalism. And this is the definition on one part which we believe in. We will not believe in any subservience from anything. India is one, Indians are one, and that is one. The second was Pandit Deen who talked about Antodaya. That means this party works for the last man, the poorest of the poor. And if you read the philosophy of Deen he talks about the poorest. These are the 2 footprints on which BJP moves. And if you have to first read this to understand where we are moving, what you are talking is possibly a perception being generated. When you hear me talking, can you remotely also connect it to anything what has been brought about? Because for the first time in independent India, there is a government which is not a Congress government. It's the first time purely government which is purely non-Congress government. And of course, there was a time when all political parties used to combine to fight against the Congress. Now all the political parties are combined to fight against the BJP. Are you ready for that?
Last page government was non-Congress.
It was not, because purely non-partisan. There was a coalition where partners were there. There were partners who had a background from the Congress party who were a part of the coalition there.
No, what I think he means to say is that it's a majority government.
It's a majority government which is a purely non. There were supporting partners there who were part of the Congress government there, which were partners. So this is what we are trying to say now. So let's not get into the debate. This responsibility to rule the country was given to the Prime Minister. He has done, he's doing whatever he believes in. And I think that's a fairly interesting. Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. Department. I believe, yes, sir. I believe there are two kinds of nationalism: civic nationalism and ethnic nationalism. So the kind of nationalism that is being encouraged in the country right now is ethnic nationalism. So what is your take on it? Should it be civic nationalism or ethnic nationalism?
Well, I think it's very easy to put words and split it out. Both are the same. It's absolutely same. It's how you perceive as, you see, I don't want to get it, because in this campus, on this stage, I've had many debates like this, and this is not my age to go into that aggression to explain, because it hurts some people when you explain. My seniority will not permit that, and I don't want to link it right from what is happening in the country in various universities. I don't want to do that. I'm aware of it. But at your age, it suits to use that language, and I congratulate you. I'm not, there's no difference. What you are trying to come back is what is happening in JV, what is happening in Hyderabad. So please, I don't want to put that debate on here. At least my campus, my university was better. It never spoke like the way you speak now. What I'm doing is absolutely you see, I will not speak a thing which actually would hurt someone. There are people who would love to do that because it suits them. I have grown through this process. I will allow an individual to have an opinion and not confront them. But this is their right to think. I don't want to get an engaged issue which possibly I am not convinced. But we have to leave some space for others. I have not come down to experience it. It's her opinion. She believes that there is an ethnic issue, which I believe is not. It's one of the same thing. Yeah.
So, my name is Vani Soon. I am the present Secretary of the Student Council of Panjab University. So, it's a question from the present council to the former council. So, what do you think about the lingo norms that are being applied in Panjab University? Lingo norms.
Well, I saw that. I don't think it makes much sense. You have to allow them to carry on. They
should be allowed to paint the campus.
Yes, and later also see that the administration paints them here. Because you see, students have very limited needs. I have used newspapers here to paint this whole city there. I have used newspapers, students would write for me, paste them around. Things have changed. Gradually the consciousness is growing. They would not do that, those things which we were doing. And I think, I read those lingo norms which he created, but actually is it being applied?
Not really.
When you check this, they can spend it so low that 5,000 rupees is all they can spend on election.
Then follow the politicians also. Politicians also. So we know exactly what to say.
You can get it from here. Okay?
Good afternoon, sir. This way, sir. Good afternoon, sir. I'm Rajiv from Law Department. A simple question. Punjabi से तो समझने में ज़्यादा नहीं होता। हाँ जी। सर, simple सा सवाल मैं चाहता हूँ कि किसी नाकी किसी पार्टी के spokesperson जहाँ जनरल किसी थ्रू पर एक जनरल जे किसी अपना व्यू पॉइंट ला सको reservation system पे का व्यू पॉइंट आ जेडी सुप्रीम कोर्ट से जेडी टीवी जे हमने सर किसी सुप्रीम कोर्ट किसी डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ लॉज पटना मतलब चाहूँ कि किसी स्पष्ट अपने व्यू पॉइंट में दो ना किसी पार्टी का
It's not difficult. So my party stand has been made very clear. We have filed for a review petition to the Supreme Court, and that is there.
So, in 2014 when people voted, and they voted in huge numbers for Prime Minister Modi. They voted in huge numbers for Prime Minister Modi. And the youth came out in support of Mr. Modi. In the hope that, things would change for the youth and the poor. So do you think when he talks about in an interview that even making pakoras is a form of employment, is that a mistake? Is that showing his disconnect with the youth?
Let's leave politics aside. I don't think it's that. I also find it's not very fun. So nonetheless, friends, yes, ma'am.
I'm Dr. Constantine and I teach political science in DAV College. I just mentioned it. DAV College. Right. My question is what you said and then what you said again. That most of us, I am a mother of 2 boys, and making them politician, well, it's not an option. But I have students who want to be politicians. But when you talked about how to spend money, learn from other politicians. So this money thing, no. What I mean is the money power and the muscle power is a big detriment for many of my students who want to
It's absolutely, this is the perception which holds you back. And let's put it in a symbolic way. I came here and told where I started and how I went around. I had a conviction to do it. I had no money. My mother would send me 600 rupees to stay there. I lost my father at the age of 5. We were 6 siblings, all in Bihar. The only thing which my parents did was give us the best of education. My mother was illiterate. She's still alive. She would never understand what was a 30% of what she would just understand a red mark in the report card. She would stop eating, make our life hell, and she educated. One became a fighter father, the second became an IPS officer, and the third became a politician. We never had money. We came from a very middle class. It's the conviction, and if this is the perception, I said that window of those people which have consumed that space of coming in politics who wanted to make politics a fast buck. That window became larger because people who should have actually come in politics withdrew from it. And those people created this perception which I talked. It's money doesn't matter. There are many people in parliament today who may not be rich. It's the conviction. It's the conviction to work, to go to those people to the remotest, gain their confidence. When I was here, I was lower. I couldn't even speak Punjabi then. But I went from, I used to spend time with the students. I used to do positive actions. It's motivation. It's not money or muscle power. It's your own conviction, your own standing, what makes a difference. I will not agree. And unless and more people venture out for good politics, things will remain the same. But things are considerably improved. पहले से बहुत अच्छे लोग आगे पे आए हैं. अभी भी बहुत लोगों की गुंजाइश. आप अपने प्रोफेशन में चलो. आप जो कर रहे हैं वो सब अच्छे डॉक्टर हैं, तो उसकी प्रैक्टिस कर अच्छे वकील हैं. But try to find a way, if you get an opportunity to indulge in politics, please do that. Don't withdraw. Unless that's the biggest problem. We need more people in politics who are good people. Whether professors, engineers, doctors. थोड़ा sacrifice करना होता है. सरकारी सेवा में जाने के बाद 30 साल की नौकरी पक्की है. राजनीति में अगर ये होगा ना कि IPS, इंडियन पार्लियामेंट सर्विस और कोई परीक्षा होती है तो सब लोग छोड़ करके ये परीक्षा है. अगर होता है MLA बनने के लिए IAS, इंडियन असेंबली सर्विस, सब लोग छोड़ करके IAS की परीक्षा करते हैं, MLA बन जाते हैं. वो प्रोसेस नहीं है डेमोक्रेसी. वो आपने वो चुना है जो सबसे स्थायी प्रोसेस है कि एक बार सरकारी नौकरी में घुसिए और 30 साल तक आराम से रहिए, क्योंकि सबको सूट करना है. आप यू आर नॉट रेडी टू वेंचर. ये मेरा तर्क है. बाकी आपका
सर नमस्कार. सर मेरा नाम दिव्यांश है. मैं केमिकल डिपार्टमेंट में जाता हूँ. सर
That was the best part.
It is the best part. सर मेरा आपसे एक क्वेश्चन है क्योंकि अभी जैसे आप 1984 की बात कर रहे हैं, जिस टाइम पर आप यहाँ स्टूडेंट यूनिवर्सिटी में उस टाइम जैसे इलेक्शन होते थे और आज जो है उनके बीच में क्या हम एक पैरेलल ड्रॉ कर सकते हैं? क्योंकि जो स्टूडेंट्स अभी छात्र राजनीति में आगे जाना चाहते हैं उनके लिए आप क्या मार्गदर्शन दे सकते हैं?
नहीं, मैं समझता हूँ कि प्रक्रिया का बहुत फर्क नहीं होगा और सबके बीच में करके वोट मांगने की बात की तरफ से बड़ी हो, मुझे नहीं लगता है कि इस प्रोसेस में कोई बदलाव मेरा ऐसा नहीं। Thank you. I have to get back to this and thank you. बहुत अच्छा लगा, बहुत खुशी के बाद and came here and just go back to the airport, go back to the airport. So thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you for welcoming.
We have three students here, Emmanuel Nagar, Dr. Meena, Dr. Rajiv Pratap